And turning our attention now to the District 1 seat for Benton County Commissioner. Joining us now is Jerome Delvin. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
And we want to start off with giving you the opportunity to make a 2-minute opening statement.
Okay, well, thank you again. So my name's Jerome Delvin, born and raised in Richland. After high school, I actually joined the U.S. Army, spent 3 years as a military policeman, came back to Richland and became a Richland City police officer. So over 30 years in law enforcement. While serving as a Richland police officer, I had many assignments. The DARE off-road vehicles, I saw the bomb squad, sniper on the SWAT team, actually was a certified police sniper trainer. But then during there, I became involved with the Washington State Association of Police and Sheriff's Deputies, police officers and sheriff deputies. So I got involved in politics, decided to run for the State House of Representatives, ran, was elected, spent 10 years in the State House, 5 terms, and then ran for the State Senate, was elected. I spent 10 years in the Senate, resigned halfway through my last term in the Senate to become a county commissioner when I won that election. So a lot of experience in the politics and government. My whole time, I think, has just been public service. Now, this is my into my second term as county commissioner. We're running one more term to complete some projects that I started as a county commissioner and building for the infrastructure needs of the county coming in the next 20 to 30 years. We have a strong budget to get us through this COVID situation right now. Even though our sales tax revenue is down a bit, we still have a strong budget that's going to carry us through so we can meet the needs of the voters of Benton County. So I want to continue one more term to finish those projects that we've started. And also my last thing is to continue to work on a mental health center for the citizens of Benton County.
Do you think the budget for the Benton Franklin Health District is adequate considering the impact of COVID-19 in our area, and why or why not?
Well, the budget for the health district it's been sufficient. We've reallocated resources in the health district. There was some federal dollars that came in and state dollars that came in that certainly helped. Benton County itself, we've given some money and pledged some money from our care funding for the health district to meet some new needs because of this COVID. So the health district has the resources with the state dollars, the federal dollars, and then with the county, because our budget's in good condition, and so we can afford to help the health district out too.
How important is it to you to preserve open spaces within Benton County, and can you address how that might affect the quality of life and future tourism dollars?
Well, tourism is pretty big for our area, especially with the wine industry. I volunteer as a tour guide for when the riverboats come in to the dock there in Richland, and volunteer as a tour guide. So tourism is very important because of our weather and our openness here. So I've worked a lot with the Friends of Badger Mountain. First, when I was in the Senate, finding monies for them in order to buy Badger Mountain, basically the park there. And then as a commissioner, worked to find the funding and for the Candy Mountain. So we have a nice trail system there. Continue to work with other groups, looking at open space, because that speaks to the quality of life in your area, is how much you can go out. It's like, I look the way I do because I went out and hiked Candy Mountain this morning. I do that several times a week. So it's important to have that open space, and there's a balance between development and open space. But I think the current ordinances that the county has, especially for the wine industry, but also on development, I think there's a really good balance that we have, and continue to work on that, because I enjoy the outdoors. So I want to make sure where I live, there's going to be plenty of outdoor recreation for our citizens of Benton County.
Benton County is becoming more diverse in its population. Should the county make an effort to reflect that diversity in its hiring and training, including the sheriff's department? Why or why not, and how do you do that?
Well, each elected official is responsible for their own department, but we have our human resources department has the policies set by the commissioners to have diversity in the workforce, and so we try to commissioners encourage the other electeds to look at that diversity to meet our obligations as a public entity or government. So we're always working on that. We try to meet the goals that we set with the hiring. It's hard for us, though, as a county to meet salaries, and especially when you got a big employer like Hanford in the area that has better pay schedules than us. But we try to. I think we have a strong representation of the Hispanic population on our workforce at the county and other groups. So we're always striving for more. We can always do better. To be honest, I don't know how the sheriff breaks down on population with their with how many certain percentages. Off the top of my head, I don't know that on what groups are representative. But I think we always striving to reflect our area. It's grown so much in the last 10 years, and trying to keep up with that and find qualified people is certainly an issue that we're always working on to find more employees for that diversity of our county.
And before we go, an opportunity to do a 1-minute closing statement.
Well, I would appreciate the voters' support once again to finish out my third term, make sure that our county continues moving forward in a sound, strong financial way. That's the way we've worked for the last 8 years. I've been helping on that. All the infrastructure that we've built and continue to build, that's all been paid with cash. We're pretty frugal when it comes to our budget, so we've had the cash. We haven't had to raise taxes in Benton County the 8 years I've been there. On the property owners, and now the state has, but the county hasn't. And they voted for a sales tax increase for the public safety tax, which is, I think, well managed, because on these tough times, we have the resources even to help the cities out are asking for our help. So I want to continue that, but also continue to meet the needs infrastructure wise for the county because of the growth we've had. It's been lacking before I got as a county commissioner. And so we're trying to play catch up with infrastructure needs and continuing with a sound budget.
Mr. Delvin, thank you very much for your time today. I know it went quick, but we appreciate your responses.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
And we continue our conversations with candidates for Benton County Commissioner District 1. Jeff Smart joins us now. Mr. Smart, thank you very much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Let me give you an opportunity to make your 2-minute opening statement.
All righty. Well, thank you very much. Thank you for your time today. My name is Jeff Smart, and I've been a lifelong resident of the Tri-Cities in Benton County. I'm currently the elected treasurer for the Washington State Association of Realtors, and in my past, I've also been the elected president of the Tri-City Association of Realtors, as well as a multitude of other positions in the state and local associations. I've graduated from Kamiakin High School in Kennewick, as well as Washington State University in Pullman. After working for Washington State University in the Tri-Cities at the branch campus for about 10 years after coming back from Pullman, I owned and operated a number of small businesses in the area, including a real estate brokerage established by my father 52 years ago. I'm the father of 5, including 3 military veterans, 2 of which are disabled from their work defending our country. I'm running for this office because I believe there's a better way to lead in Benton County. Our current situation with the COVID-19 pandemic has shown the need for tough decisions and our leadership to step up and show what is needed to be done to improve the state we are in. I've been involved in local and state leadership specific to the real estate industry for many years. In these positions, I've seen many opportunities for local communities to step up and provide solutions around housing. I recognize that housing issues do not exist in a vacuum, and there are complex societal issues that lead to housing insecurity. These are things that we can address at a county and municipal level. I've also seen gaping holes in our mental health treatment capacity in this area. All issues that lead to the need for counseling and mental health interventions are treated criminally. Mental health facilities are not available to those who do not have insurance. Suicide prevention responses are left to the police with no family support options, and current responses lack a way to address underlying issues that led to a specific crisis in the first place. This is an area that we must and can do better. I believe in open communication from the elected leadership. There's a need for more transparency from the county offices, specifically on taxation and spending. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now, our first question has to do with COVID-19. Do you think the budget for the Benton Franklin Health District is adequate considering the impact of COVID-19 in our area, and why or why not?
Okay. I believe the revenue streams for the county are sufficient to support all the departments and all the concerns and all the needs of this county. Through increased income with property taxes and with the public safety tax, this county is in a unique situation of having the funds to fulfill the needs of the various county departments, the health department and such. I will stress for need for proper funding of the health department as well as other departments that are overseen by the commissioners. With proper planning, careful budgeting, control, and insightful long-range budgeting, we can make the dollars stretch to cover the needs of this county.
Question number 2, how important is it to you to preserve open spaces within Benton County? And can you address how that might affect the quality of life and future tourism dollars?
As a real estate broker in our area, I believe that we need to have a proper mix of residential, commercial, and open space. Preserving the open space is paramount to quality of life. I believe you need space for people to go to congregate when we can after the pandemic is sufficiently flattened. But we need to also keep in careful mind the needs for all housing needs that we have. We have a large stream of people coming into our area. The economy is good. And if we can balance out development of land and keeping that open space for those that want to go to parks, go walking trails, hillsides and such, we should be definitely doing that.
And final question, Benton County is becoming more diverse in its population. Should the county make an effort to reflect that diversity in its hiring, training, and including the sheriff's department? Why or why not? And how would you do that?
I've worked hard within my industry to support and promote diversity. I look forward to expanding my purview and scope of influence with the community government to first listen and then learn, and then work strategically with our partners throughout the area to recognize where we may be lacking in opportunities for all groups to have access to employment, to housing, to governmental and community leadership positions and socioeconomic avenues towards common opportunity. And then we can determine how to take the best course of action. I completely believe in having a diverse workplace, having a diverse membership, and I'm all for this, and I need to learn more about it for sure. I'm the first one to say that I don't have all the answers, but I'm willing to try and willing to listen.
And before you go, Mr. Smart, I'll give you an opportunity to make your 1-minute closing statement.
Thank you. I want to thank everybody for their time today. I believe that getting the word out to the voting public is important, especially in this pandemic that we have. We don't have the ability for forums in person. We don't have the ability to have group gatherings, fundraisers, and such, just to get the word out. So this is very important for us to do. My stressors in running for office include a number of things. One is mental health. We need to take care of our mental health industry around here. We need to expand it. We need to make it more affordable and more open to those in need of it, both youth and adults. We need to expand upon our buildable lands in our county. We need to be able to offer affordable housing. I'm not talking about low-income housing. I'm talking about affordable housing. And we need to be more transparent and communicate more about the budget and the revenue streams that come into the county, specifically property taxes and the public safety tax.
Well, Mr. Smart, thank you very much. Appreciate your responses. Thank you for joining our virtual forum today.
I appreciate your time. This is wonderful.
And as we continue our look at the Benton County Commissioner candidates for District 1, I'm joined by Justin Rafanel. Thank you very much for being here, Justin.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for the opportunity.
And we want to start our candidates with an opportunity to give a 2-minute opening statement.
One of the most effective ways to initiate positive change in your community is to serve as an elected official. Benton County is my home, and I want it to be the best that it can be for all of its residents. I feel called to serve, and have a history of leadership positions with nonprofit boards and city and state commissions. I want to ensure our voters have options in partisan races, which is central to democracy. In 2016, the District 1 incumbent ran unopposed for second term. Since then, I have been disappointed with his performance and feel that my skills and experience better position me to promote the interests of county residents. Additionally, many friends and community members have encouraged me to run for years, and I am pleased to answer their call and stand as a candidate in this race. Our county government has flown under the radar for too long. Many citizens don't know what services it stewards or who their commissioners are. I want to engage the public and expand the transparency of the commissioners. I will bring a balanced approach to decision-making and budgeting, a civil voice to political discourse, and I believe I am the responsible choice in this election. I'm Justin Raffa, professional musician and arts administrator with 20 years of experience in the nonprofit sector. The arts by nature are nonpartisan, and I have successfully built relationships with people of all political affiliations. I have the work experience needed for the administrative duties of the office, including committee participation and oversight, budget creation and management, and accountability to public stakeholders. As artistic director of the Mid-Columbia Master Singers, I help manage over 150 volunteers and oversee a staff of 10. Networking is a key skill to success in the arts and a big part of my role as a director. I plan to leverage my networking experience to keep Benton County connected to area jurisdictions, agencies, and businesses by creating collaborative relationships of mutual trust and respect. Thank you.
And question number one for you has to do with COVID-19, what we're dealing with right now. Do you think the budget for the Benton Franklin Health District is adequate considering the impact of COVID-19 in our area, and why or why not?
I do not. I feel that Benton Franklin Health District has been significantly underfunded for some time. And now that we have entered the era of a global pandemic where we really need the staff, their experience, and those resources to mitigate this virus, they're having a really difficult time maintaining our numbers. Obviously, we are only one of 3 counties in the state out of 39 that are still in phase 1. So I think that the agency has been significantly underfunded. It's my understanding, trying to look at the annual budget of the agency, that the funding that they receive from both Benton and Franklin County commissioners is about 10% of their total operations. So I think that that needs to be significantly improved to help us get through this process, to reopen our businesses, to protect the health and well-being of all of our citizens. They need significant resources and additional staff to help them with these efforts, especially when we look at contact tracing, staff members that are specifically trained and skilled to handle that element of combating the virus. Considering that there's over 300,000 residents of Benton and Franklin counties combined, we need closer to 100 dedicated people that are working on that front.
And question number 2, how important is it to you to preserve open spaces within Benton County? And can you address how that might affect the quality of life and future tourism dollars?
I've been pleased to serve on the board of Visit Tri-Cities, our destination marketing organization, since 2015. So I'm very cognizant of the effect of tourism on our industry and attracting people to come here, to stay in our hotels, eat in our restaurants, drink at our wineries, and spend part of their income here to support our economy. As I said in my opening statement, I believe in a balanced approach to decision making. So I believe that there's a balance to this approach that, of course, we want to maintain open lands. It's part of the beauty of the community to be out in an open space, to have access to a park, to have access to waterfront as part of our recreation. But I also know that there is a need to continue to build, to have housing, specifically affordable housing, available for the county, considering that we remain one of the fastest growing counties across the state. And I had a wonderful conversation with the Tri-Cities Association of Realtors last week, who better helped me understand this issue. So I would certainly want to communicate with them and with all parties that are connected to this issue so that we can find a balanced approach around the preservation of open space in the county.
And you mentioned the growth of Benton County. With the growth, it's becoming more diverse in its population. Should the county make an effort to reflect that diversity in its hiring and training, including the sheriff's department? And why or why not? And how would you do that?
Yes, I agree that the diversity of our citizenry should be represented at all local levels of government, our elected officials and staff. I recently attended a training on police reform and law enforcement practices, and I was intrigued by the recommendation that local community-based groups be part of hiring practices, especially for law enforcement. So as commissioner, I would certainly be interested to pursue this option of inviting community representatives to be part of a task force panel that help oversee the hiring of our law enforcement, specifically deputies and those that are serving the sheriff's office. And I also believe that our law enforcement should be residents of our communities. I think that there are too many law enforcement employees that live far outside of our towns and counties and are not as well connected with the community and how it works and understanding its citizens. So I would also be an advocate for ensuring that we are hiring local and ensuring that future law enforcement representation actually live in the jurisdictions that they're representing.
And before we let you go here, I do want to give you an opportunity to make your 1-minute closing statement.
Wonderful. I invite viewers to visit my campaign website, justinraffa.com, where we've archived video and audio spots that further explore my candidacy and include more information about my biography, platform, and endorsements. Please follow me on social media through my campaign Facebook page, as well as Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. The public can email me directly at info@justinraffa.com with any questions or feedback. And unlike several of my opponents who are self-funding their campaigns, as of today, I've raised over $25,000 with grassroots support from over 175 contributors, positioning me as the lead fundraiser in this race today. Thank you to the League of Women Voters of Benton and Franklin counties and to Northwest Public Broadcasting for the opportunity to present to you today. And I humbly ask for your vote as the next Benton County Commissioner for District 1 on August 4. Thank you.
Mr. Raffa, thank you very much for joining our virtual forum today.
It's been my pleasure. Thank you again for the opportunity.
And continuing our look at the candidates for Benton County Commissioner District 1, we're now joined by Michael Alvarez. Mr. Alvarez, thank you for being here today.
Thank you. I appreciate the invitation.
And we want to learn more about our candidates, so we'd like to start off with your 2-minute opening statement.
So my name is Michael Alvarez, and I'm running for Benton County Commissioner District 1. I currently am serving as a Richland City Councilman, and I help review and approve a $250 million plus city budget. My other duties have included council liaison for the Planning Commission, Code Enforcement Board, Economic Development Committee, Arts Commission, Port Commission, Benton Franklin Community Action Committee, and the list goes on. I'm a veteran of the United States Marine Corps and very proud of that. And I'm currently an active member in the United States Coast Guard Auxiliary as a finance officer. I'm also involved in several nonprofits and usually at the executive or financial level. My wife and I have been married 30 years. We own a local mortgage company here together, over 20. We have 2 kids, both graduated from Richland High and WSU, and we've called Benton County home for more than almost 30 years. Benton County will be facing some very difficult economic and financial challenges due to COVID-19. I'm the only candidate that has a formal business education and 30 years of extensive financial and business experience needed to help ensure taxpayers' money is used in the best possible way and that taxes are not increased unnecessarily. Compare my qualifications with my opponents and see who you would like to manage your tax dollars. I'm a strong advocate of yours, putting Benton County on a sustainable financial track without raising taxes, bringing economic development to Benton County for quality family wage jobs, providing first responders the personnel and the equipment they need. I'm ready to tackle the tough topics of mental health. Lastly, creating a more transparent form of local government with better communications for its citizens. My endorsements include Larry Haler, retired state legislator, 8th District, Central Washington Building and Trades Council on behalf of 16 affiliated local trade unions, endorsed by Franklin County Sheriff Jim Raymond, and endorsed by dozens of local small businesses, too many to mention. Please vote Michael Alvarez for Benton County Commissioner, District 1. Thank you.
And our first question for you, Mr. Alvarez, do you think the budget for the Benton Franklin Health District is adequate considering the impact of COVID-19 in our area? And why or why not?
So that's actually a pretty good question and a tough question. You know, I think because of COVID-19 and we're going to have financial challenges due to COVID-19. I mean, the cities within the county and the county, we're certainly seeing that right now. And with the cost that we're having with lack of sales revenue coming through and the cost increasing for the health district budget here, I do think we're going to have to put more money into that for more testing. We're getting some state money, we're getting some federal money in there, but I think it's important that we're going to have to really look at that. And I think that's something that Benton County Commissioners can go ahead and do along with their finance director and their finance department and really look where we're going to have the shortfalls and see where we can go ahead and fill those shortfalls within that budget. Because like I said, we're not going to be a jack of all trades. We're going to have the medical professionals come in here. We're going to have to have conversations. That's a tough conversation to have and bring all those people together and see what we can go ahead and do, where that's going to happen and what we can do to fix it. So it's a tough question. I'm a finance guy. I've been doing that for about 30 years. And I think the best thing to do is, yes, we do. We need more testing on that. We need more equipment, and we need to support our local health experts. But that's something that we're going to have to go ahead and come together and collaborate and see where those are and see where we can go ahead and fill those buckets to increase that budget. Thank you.
And for question number 2, how important is it to you to preserve open spaces within Benton County? And can you address how that might affect the quality of life and maybe future tourism dollars?
That's actually a good question too. Before I was a city councilman, I'm an outdoors person, and everybody around here knows that. I was actually a commissioner for Richland Parks and Recreation Commission as well. And so I think it's very important for quality, to have quality of life, to have our open natural spaces. I was very pro on all the parks and trails we have here. We're very lucky to have a lot of open space and parks and trails and waterways and stuff like that. So I think it's a balance. We have a lot of tourism coming in here. We're actually growing at a very fast pace here in Benton County. So it's going to have to be a balance between smart economic development, bringing in quality family wage jobs in here, and utilizing our trades and our professional people that we have currently here, making smart decisions on the economic side, but also making sure we still have those wide open spaces where we can go ahead and play and have fun. And I think that really helps everybody here for having a quality life here, I think, as well. I'm a little nervous talking here, but like I said, there's a lot of people right now. If we didn't have those natural open spaces and those parks and trails, I think because of COVID-19, we want to have a quality of life we have here. Like I said, we go for walks all the time. I see people walking out there on the trails, and so I think it's a good thing.
And talking about the people of Benton County, the county is becoming more diverse in its population. Should the county make an effort to reflect that diversity in its hiring and training practices, including the sheriff's department? Why or why not? And how would you do that?
Oh, these are hard questions, but they're important questions. You know, I have a bachelor's degree in human resource management. So I really take hiring and benefits and all those things all my life, you know, since I've been out of college. I take those things very seriously. And so, you know, I can say anything, do anything on this, but I think it's important that we do have our diversity. And I think there is diversity. I know in the sheriff's department, there's a lot of diversity that I see going on there right now. We have to look at hiring the best quality people for the job, obviously, that are actually qualified and have the experience. But also we have to have people of different nationalities and those things that reflect the community as well. And I think the county has done a great job of doing that. You know, this is, like I said, a tough question for me because I think it's really important. I think it's a good question to ask. But I think, you know, for someone that I don't necessarily say this, but a person of minority, myself, I think it's important that we look at that in diversity, but like I said, within the county and the cities within the county, they're doing a good job. And that's a really human resource thing. We can go ahead and have human resource from the county do their job. And I think they do a good job for it. Good question.
And before you go, I'll give you an opportunity now for a 1-minute closing statement.
All right. So here's my 1-minute closing statement. If you live in Richland or West Richland, there's a good chance you've seen my signs. They have my name and face on them. And I did that on purpose. So if I'm elected, you can put a name with a face. I'm a strong advocate for using the public safety tax fund to reduce gang violence, drug activity, and create a better mental health program. I know the younger generation and families want more affordable housing, and I will make that a reality. More importantly, I'm the only candidate that has the education, extensive financial, and business experience needed to help ensure taxpayers' money is not increased unnecessarily due to COVID-19. And finally, citizens are asking for change. It's time to vote out career politicians with candidates that have the energy, drive, financial, and business experience needed to keep the county moving forward in a positive direction. Please vote Michael Alvarez for Benton County Commissioner District 1. And if I have your vote, I'm asking you to ask your friends, family, coworkers, and neighbors to vote for me as well. Thank you.
Mr. Alvarez, thank you very much for joining our virtual forum today and appreciate your responses.
Appreciate it. Thank you.